Okay, everybody, I'm back in my office, better known as the kitchen. I am cooking dinner, so I decided to just take you guys along for the ride. Right now, I'm prepping a cup of tea. I just got in the house. It's freezing outside. It's also very late, so I don't have, or I shouldn't say I don't have a lot of time. I have as much time as I need, but I'm going to try to cook a quick dinner. I have some steak here, or beef here. The plan was to bake it, but it's late and I'd rather get everybody fed as soon as possible. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump into cooking and moving around the kitchen. I just took some regular Lipton tea and a little bit of honey, hot water. Amazing. Okay, so now we're going to get started. I should probably also mention that I don't know what I'm doing with this. So I was going to bake it. I think I said that already. But it's late. And so I haven't decided what exactly I'm doing. So you guys are just going to watch me create something. So beef is here. I'm going to dry it. Hey, babe. Can you bring me 2 rubber gloves? Well, not rubber gloves, but gloves.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yes.
Can you bring me 2 gloves, please? This guy. So I don't want to have. I want the beef to be as dry as possible so that it can fry up nicely. That much I know I'm going to do. I'm going to cook it on the stove top. I don't want there to be too much water. Thank you, baby.
Welcome.
So yeah, I'm just drying it all over. Just absorb as much of this water as I can. And so again, I don't know exactly what I'm making. Hi, I see you there. Hi, how are you? I'm great. Thank you for hopping on. I'm just cooking dinner. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to make, so you guys are just going to watch me create, basically. I was going to bake this, but it's late and I want to get dinner. I'm going to get everybody fed as soon as possible. So, you guys will see me in the spur of the moment come up with a meal. Let me go rinse my hands. I'll be right back. Okay, so one thing I do know is that I'm going to pair this beef with pasta, and I'm just going to do a quick pasta dish. It's just going to be a boxed pasta. So I just eyeballed the amount of water I believe I need. I'm going to do these pasta shells, pastaroni. And I'll probably just add frozen vegetables like broccoli or fresh broccoli to it. I haven't decided that yet, but I do want to get started on this beef. I think I have decided that I'm going to cut it up. So you guys are just going to watch me cut up the beef. Thank you for the hearts and thank you guys for watching. Now this would have been delicious if I actually had time to bake it, but I don't, so. Gonna cut around this bone. and get as much of the meat off as I can. And I'm just gonna cut it into like bite-sized pieces. And again, you guys are just watching me come up with something. As I'm cutting it, I'm deciding how I'm going to season it. I didn't originally plan to do like a teriyaki flavor, but now I'm thinking maybe I can do like a teriyaki flavored beef. And again, I'm just trying to get everybody fed and get dinner on the table as quickly as possible because it is late. So we are creating a meal on the fly. There's no right way or wrong way to cut up the beef. I just want to cut it into bite-sized pieces. I'll probably get rid of some of this fat so that I don't have a lot of extra fatty pieces. Let's put that to the side for now. Now these kitchen shears are a bit worn down because I use them all the time, but they do come in handy. Make things a lot easier. So I've already rinsed the meat. Yes, we clean chicken, beef, whatever over here. I clean it when I first buy it. So I go to the butcher, I buy my meats in bulk. I bring them home, clean everything, separate everything into gallon-sized bags, and then put it in the deep freezer. So it's already been cleaned, right? But then today I thawed it out, and when I got home, I just gave it a quick rinse, and I patted it dry. I think before anybody hopped on, I had already patted the beef dry, and so that I can get a good sear on it when I finally do get it in the pan. If it's too wet, it'll be like, you'll be kind of, as you're cooking, all of that liquid will come out of the meat, and then it'll turn into you like boiling the meat instead of like searing or frying it. And I don't want to do that because I don't want the beef to be tough. So hopefully that helps. Let's see. Do you have any questions? What am I making? I don't know exactly what I'm making. Yes, a pasta meat thing. So basically the pasta will be the side dish. I'll probably add some frozen mixed vegetables to the pasta, or I'll throw in some fresh broccoli to the pasta. And then I was going to bake this. This is I think they call it like a 7-bone-in steak. You can look that up, 7-bone, something like that. This was a really big piece of beef that my intention when I bought it was to bake it. But because it's so late and I want to hurry up and get dinner done, I have decided to break it down and cut the steak into bite-sized pieces. And then I think I'm going to pull out my cast iron skillet, and either I'm going to do a homemade teriyaki sauce, or I'm going to season it the same way I would have if I baked it. I just haven't decided yet how I'm going to season it. So basically it'll be the pasta. I'll show you guys the pasta again in a moment. It'll be the pasta as the side dish, and then I guess we can kind of put this on the top of the pasta or on the side of the pasta, however they want to eat it. So hopefully that helps. So because I don't have a lot of time and I'm not doing what I had originally planned to do with the beef, I'm just coming up with dinner literally as I'm on here with you guys. the way I normally would if you weren't here. I just decided to go live and kind of show you guys my process. And maybe you'll pick up a delicious recipe as you're watching. Okay. Thank you guys for the hearts. Happy Monday. I hope everybody has had a blessed Monday. A productive day. Let's see. Do I have any more questions? What am I making? Yeah, okay. What did you guys have for dinner? I don't know. What time is it where you are? Have you already eaten dinner? What did you guys have? So our water is already simmering over there, and it won't take long to make the pastamoni, so I'm not really worried about that. Once I get the beef on, I can focus on the pasta. I usually just put the water on so that it's ready when I'm ready. Thank you for the hearts. I'm guessing that's probably my daughter with those hearts because she's a sweetie. If that's you, babe, I love you. Thank you. So you guys remember to subscribe to the channel, like the live. I will be coming on hopefully daily because I'm in the kitchen all the time. I'm just allowing you guys to join me here in my office. And if you're catching the replay of the live, thank you for hopping on as well. I would normally have praise and worship or something playing in the background. So I actually have it in my ears right now. I don't want YouTube to act crazy. So if you're watching, you can throw on your favorite gospel song and just follow along. Again, I'm just going to try to get as much of this off the bone as possible, as I can with these shears. Almost done. I'm wondering if the teriyaki flavor is going to pair well with this pasta, so I'm still debating. I might just do like a light teriyaki flavor. I'm just feeling around for the pieces that I know, like this gristly part in the beef that I know is going to cook up really tough. Make sure I cut those pieces out. Let's see if I can get this out. Really, I could just save these scraps and boil them down for like a beef broth or something. I don't know if I'm going to do that, but I do know that I am done chopping up this beef. I'll actually probably just get rid of this. Give me just a moment, you guys. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm just going to add them to this bag and throw it away. I'm going to clean my hands and I'm going to come right back. Okay. Now I'm going to lightly season this beef. I am going to do the teriyaki flavor. Turn this water down. I'm going to lightly season the beef because most of the flavor will be in the teriyaki sauce. Gonna take some onion powder. Some garlic powder. Now that I have the beef cut up, this meal is not going to take long. Let's see. Just making sure there's no questions or comments I need to respond to. Okay. To save time, I'm going to use some dried minced garlic. And dried chopped onion. Just a little bit of the onion. My kids aren't really big fans of onions. Usually if I do cook with them, I'll make them big enough that they can pick it out. So those tiny pieces do not work well. Alright, let's get some salt, some pepper. A little bit of salt, not too much because we will be using soy sauce. Pepper. I'm gonna do red pepper flakes. And then I'll put a little bit of ginger, dried ginger, ground ginger. And I am going to pull out my skillet, cast iron skillet. Gonna get it warmed up. We need a little bit more water over here since I let it boil out. Water. And I'll bring that back to a simmer, and then I'll add our pasta. I'm going to take a quick sip of my tea before I continue on. Okay, how long have we been here? We've been here 23 minutes? All right. Just going to give this a good mix. Just to let the seasonings marinate a little bit into the beef as we are waiting for the skillet to heat up. Sometimes I'll smell if I can smell the seasonings, which I can. They're not overpowering, so I know it's not overly seasoned. I also know that I didn't add a lot of salt, so the meat's not going to be too salty. But I do like to smell the seasonings. Okay, so that's done. Now we're going to prep our teriyaki sauce. So we have soy sauce. And even though I'm using a measuring cup, I really don't actually measure. So that's the part of this that's not going to be as helpful for you as it could be. I just eyeball. But I can tell you what I have here. I have a half a cup of soy sauce. Now I may have to tweak it as I go. But right now I'm starting off with a half a cup of soy sauce. And then I'm going to add some brown sugar. That was about a fourth cup of brown sugar. Just gonna mix this together. So brown sugar, soy sauce. I also have some hoisin sauce. I'm just going to add a little bit of that to this mixture as well. And again, I am just eyeballing everything. So if that's not helpful for you, let's say you were making this dish, you would just start off with, let's say, the 4th cup of soy sauce. Sorry, I had a half a cup. Let's say you would start off with the half a cup of soy sauce, the 4th cup of brown sugar, and maybe do, usually I don't even use hoisin sauce, I just happen to have it. Maybe do 2 tablespoons of the hoisin sauce. Start off with that mixture and then add it to your meat when the time comes. And once everything is kind of getting thick and once the sauce is starting to stick to the meat, if there's a flavor that you feel like is missing, you can always sprinkle a little bit more brown sugar if you feel like you need a little bit more of the brown sugar. Or add a little bit more soy sauce if you feel like you need a little bit more soy sauce. So this is just grease, cooking oil. Alright. I'm going to salt my water for my little pasta shells. Not a lot of salt, just a little bit. Just like I normally would if I was making any other pasta. And I'm going to bring this water to a boil. So it's 2 cups of water per box. And I just eyeballed the water. Have our beef in there. And since I'm using my skillet, I can use a metal utensil. Normally, I will use wooden utensils. Okay. This oil is getting hot. I can see it. Alright, skillet is nice and hot. Oil is hot. Now I'm going to start adding my beef. I really don't want to overcrowd the pan with the beef, but I also don't want to do 2 batches because I'm just trying to get this done. So get this seared. I'm going to add my pasta to the water. Okay. There we go. since this is a non-stick pot or pan skillet, I'm going to use one of my wooden utensils. Just stir that pasta in there. Turn up the heat. Let this to a boil. Just gonna put these boxes in the recycling. Seasoning. Now, normally we clean as we cook, so I'm going to clean off my workstation, and I'm going to be right back. Alright, I realized when I got over there that I didn't need to bring the tongs. And since we were dealing with raw meat, we're going to make sure that we disinfect our surface. Now that big bowl I actually did not wash, because I usually take my time washing it and make sure I wash it really good. I don't want to splash water all over the place because I'm in a rush. But for the most part, if I was not on live, I clean as I cook. So the dishes that I'm using, they all get cleaned while I'm cooking so that at the end, I don't have a bunch of dirty dishes and a messy kitchen. I'm just able to feed everybody and enjoy my food without worrying about having to clean until we're all done with our food. So I'm going to keep this heat up high. So now the juices are beginning to release from the beef, and so it's going to start simmering, and I don't want it to get tough. I want it to just continue to cook and to be nice and tender. I'm going to put a lid on this. I should probably add a little bit more water to it. Usually when I make this pasta, I make it in a regular pot. Because the pot is wider, the water is distributed more flat instead of the pasta being able to be submerged in the water. And it's not a big deal. I'm just going to boil it covered and let that pasta get, tender, and then I'll continue cooking. So we already have our teriyaki sauce waiting. I'm going to continue to sip on this tea. And let's see. Hi. Yes. There goes my girl. Hi, baby. Very sanitary, yes. I love you. You don't have to watch the video if you have other things to do, but I do appreciate you hopping on and watching me. bit more water to this. I'll just use my kettle. Now once the pasta is tender, if I still have too much water in here, I'll just dump a little bit of it before I add the milk and the seasonings. I could use a little bit more hot pepper flakes. I'm just going to add them to the teriyaki sauce. This is onion powder and garlic powder. Add those to the teriyaki sauce. I don't have any cornstarch, but I'm going to add a little bit of, I was going to say add a little bit of flour, but if you guys watched my live last night, you know I don't have any flour. So I'm going to take this little tiny crumbs of corner of flour. Now, the flour or the cornstarch, whichever if you have, will just be to help thicken the teriyaki sauce. So now I'm about to just add my sauce on here. The steak is actually probably done. I don't want to overcook the beef, so I'm just going to taste it really quick and see. Do I want to take it out? And then add it back. I'll leave it in. So I think I'm going to add the teriyaki sauce, and then I'm going to let it simmer. What's happening? I love you, baby. So we're just going to add this teriyaki sauce mixture. Now sometimes people will make the teriyaki sauce separately so that it can thicken before they add it to their dish, so that's definitely an option too. But I just decided to just mix it here, and then I'll just allow it to thicken with the beef. And because I'm allowing the beef to cook longer, it's going to end up getting a little bit tougher. So I'm going to have to let it simmer for a bit so that it can soften back up. Just want to make sure it's cooking evenly. Just make sure my pan is in a good spot. I don't only want to see it bubbling over here, and it looks like it's not really doing much over here, so I'm just making sure it's positioned properly over the flame. Alright, so now let's check this pasta. perfect. Now we're going to add the milk and the seasoning to the pasta. Now on the back of the box it tells you how much milk to add. I just eyeball. I think it's probably like 3/4 of a cup or something like that. I'm just going to put whatever I'm going to put. Starting out, you should definitely just follow the instructions on the box. It's easy for me to just eyeball, but unless you are like seasoned in cooking, it's going to be easier for you to just do the measurements. So the milk is cold. It's going to take a moment for the pasta to come back to a boil. And I'm also going to grab some butter. My butter is frozen. We're just going to let this continue to cook. I just pulled this out the freezer, so. I'm gonna add this to the pasta. As this comes to a boil, the sauce is going to thicken. I'm going to turn down the beef a little bit. And again, we clean as we go, so I'm going to clean my station. Check this. So the teriyaki sauce is getting thicker. I'm just going to try it. Believe it or not, it needs a tiny bit more butter. Not much, just a little bit. Actually, I will add a little bit of honey. So we'll have the sweet of the beef and the savory of the pasta. And I'm going to add broccoli to the pasta. So right now, I'm going to cover the beef and let it simmer for a minute, just to make sure that it's not tough. And I'm going to clean our space again. Put the butter away. Pasta is pretty much done. I'm going to put it on low, and I'm going to add broccoli to the pasta. So I have this bagged broccoli. Cut off the bottoms if they look dark. Sometimes you get these brown broccolis. Give me just a moment. So I'm going to rinse these and then add them to that pasta. Just checking for any bottoms that I need to cut off. Looks like it's just the one. I'll just break this piece off. Normally I would use a knife, but if I'm just doing the one, that's fine. All right, I'm gonna rinse this broccoli and I'll be right back. Alright, I'm going to turn this back up a little bit, add my broccoli in here. Fold it in. A little onion powder, a little garlic powder. A little pepper. A little bit of salt. Since I've added the broccoli to it, just to make sure I've got enough flavor for everything. Now I'm going to cover this back up and just let it steam with the broccoli. The broccoli is not going to take long to cook. And I like my broccoli to still be crisp, not overcooked. I'm going to add a little bit more butter. I'll just let it melt in here, and then I'll come back and mix it all up. And again, we will clean our workstation. And we're almost done. Make sure I have enough water in here to create steam. I don't want the pasta to stick. Most of the liquid is absorbed already. I do want to make sure that there's enough liquid to create steam to steam the broccoli. So I just added a tiny bit of water. When I stopped the noodles from cooking earlier, they were more like al dente, so they're not too soft now. These pasta bolognese dishes are pretty forgiving. You can get really creative with them. They're very convenient, which is why on a night like tonight, I knew that I could just throw some together and call it a day. Just give it a go. I'm going to check our beef in just a moment. I see it steaming. Take this bowl. Alright, we're almost finished here. Guys, here's a piece of this nice teriyaki beef, nicely coated in the teriyaki sauce. Very delicious, and I'm gonna give it a try. Super hot, but it's super tender. So I can turn it off now because it's ready. Now that tad bit of sugar that I added at the end, I didn't really need that. So sometimes you just have to let it cook, because as the flavors kind of simmer down and come together, you may have thought it wasn't going to turn out how you planned, but it'll turn out just perfect. So since I only added a tiny bit of sugar, it didn't ruin the dish or anything. But if I didn't add it, it would have turned out perfect. That's why I just added a tiny bit of sugar. You just add a little here and there when you're not quite sure, because you don't want to overdo it. So this pasta is just going to sit here for a moment so that the broccoli can steam. But I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what dinner looks like. What are we? We are 57 minutes in. Dinner is basically ready. If I wanted to make a plate of the pasta right now, I could, and it would be fine. It's just the broccoli that I'm letting get a little bit more tender. But dinner is now ready. I'm gonna turn, oh, my camera's plugged in, hold on. Okay. So, let's do the pasta first. So here's our pasta, here's our broccoli. Broccoli doesn't take long to cook at all. So here's our savory part of the dinner. Yay, right, Sam? And then here's our sweeter part of the dinner. So we have our teriyaki beef and our pasta. All right, guys and gals, people, YouTube, thank you for watching. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Hopefully you got some dinner inspiration. Try it out yourself. Come back to this video later on. Let me know if you try it. Let me know how things went. And I hope you guys have a blessed night. Happy Sunday. Happy Monday. Lord Jesus, when the days start blurring together. Happy Monday. And I hope you guys have a blessed week. Go ahead, subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell for more notifications. I'm going to do my best to come live and cook for you guys, hopefully at least once a day. So you should learn something, okay? And aside from cooking, you guys can check out my shorts. I post about just random things that I do throughout the day. And this is just a family channel. Okay? So, again, thanks for joining me. I'll see you guys later. Get some rest and have a great week. And a blessed week.